Boston.
Eat, sleep, bet, repeat. That's how we get down here on the opening line. Once again, it's your boy Duke in for Benny, the usual host here. And I'm with Moose, who's now, at Moose_esports on Twitter?
Yes, we're all about the eSports. Moose eSports.
New handle, same stud. Bringing you a 6-game slate today over on DraftKings. We got a lot to talk about, so we'll lessen the chit-chat and get right to the meat of the article here. And, of course, you'll have an article over on EliteFantasy.com and EliteSportsBetting.com this evening about the 6-game slate. So how you doing, Moose, and what are we targeting right off the bat?
So I'm doing good. Not going to shave until I win another GPP, I guess. Is that the plan?
We'll see you Friday. We're doing another show on Friday. Moose will have a nice clean face by Friday.
Right. I took one down last week, so I'm hoping that continues. But it's a big slate tonight, and there's going to be a lot to go over. I will probably not be playing the 200K because I'm going to have to make 150 lineups. And at this point, if you're doing GPPs, you can't do 2-team stacks anymore. You have to be smarter. You have to think about what you're doing. You have to really pick your poison in the regard of possibly using somebody else as like a potential third team. And then from there, making like a 4-2-1 or a 3-3-2 stack. And that's really what's going to take down that kind of GPP. You really can't win with 2 stacks and with just a 2-2 anymore. You're going to really have to go with a 4-2-1 or a 3-3-2, but the 4-3-3-4 stacks are probably not going to be the W, or you're going to be splitting it with a lot of people. I kind of like 5-game slates more than 6-game slates because a 5-game slate lets me go over a lot more options. A 6-game slate kind of forces you to pick your poison in the regard of maybe fading a team or finding places where you can develop more lineups. In general, my advice for winning a tournament like that is be creative. If a team has, if let's say you're working on a crazy stack, like one of the stacks that I watched was a team called Hanwha Life, HLE. They won against the team I thought was going to blow them out of the park, Gen G. So anything's possible really in League of Legends. But in that regard, the guy that won it made a stack where he included 200 life players, and then he wasn't sure who their AD carry was going to be that day. So he played the AD carry from Invictus Gaming, and that guy put up enough points to propel him like the extra 5 or 6 points ahead of everybody else, and he won. I think it was 50 or 60 grand off of that very intelligent play. So my point is 4-2-1, 3-3-2. You're really not going to be able to take it all down by yourself. That's all I'm saying. You're
just too much roster overlap, or as far as maxing out your potential lineup, the potential is bigger when you're differentiating more like that with the
yeah. If you want to win 100K solo, you're gonna have to differentiate in a creative way, where you find picks that you like and you go with them for their high ceiling. You're not playing GPP players for their average, you're playing them for their ceiling. So if you see a guy you like a good jungler that you think might get involved, or a good top laner that might score some points, or even a good AD carry, slide him right in and just hope that out of the 6 games, the 3 that you chose are the ones that do well.
And, with the 6-game slate here, Moose, as I ask you every time you and I do this together, more of a cash game slate or more of a GPP slate?
A 6-game slate can be, in my opinion, very good for cash because you're going to be seeing a lot of people take risks. A lot of the pros like to take risks, or they'll pick a lineup and then they'll spit out, okay, what players do I want? And then that's where you're really going to be able to capture how their our strategy on Elite and my overall strategy compared to what they do, where they will stick a support, a top, or a jungler. My hair's just all over the place today. Where they stick a support, a top, or a jungler, as opposed to just putting in a carry or running 3 carries, and that's really where you find the differentiation. So I think I would say that it's more of a cash slate, but there are a lot of options for GPP plays and seeing what GPP plays will do well. So in general, I've already had kind of a go at cash, and my advice would be to take the teams that are the most favorited teams, and try to see if you can stack something up with them. That would be my number one advice.
Yeah, and we'll get to that here in just a second. We do have a couple of big favorites on the slate, but I know for me personally, I like when there's more options in cash. I don't like where it's a 1v1 or a 2v2 because the majority of people are going to be on the other, 6 players or whatever it is
Yeah.
throughout any sport. So I kind of like these bigger bigger games on the slate situations for cash here. But like you mentioned, for GPP, it opens up a lot of different avenues as well. But we do have a couple of big favorites on the slate. T1's minus 550. I'm seeing RNG's minus 500. I know we love to pick on Sandbox. Dan Juan Gaming in play today?
Yes and no. I think that Dan Juan is a GPP play, but only because from what I've seen from Sandbox so far, they're losing too early. They're losing far too early in the early
They're
game.
so bad that it's hard to even play against them.
Yes, like they're just giving up games because they can't get going. Like you really need a team to get going. And at the start of the season, they were a lot more confident. So you saw a lot of teams come in there and they will play with Sandbox and then they'll get some kills and then Sandbox will come back and try to, play some more. They'll get more kills. But lately what I'm seeing is, the previous game against KT is a team that beats you with macro, not with kills. 14 kills and 14 kills. Against SKT at 2-0, 13 kills, 16 kills. A close game against Humble Life where, Sandbox scored more kills, but not by much. They got destroyed in the first game. And then, 2-0 from Genji, a 19 kill and a 13 kill game isn't really going to win you any big slates. I think the Damwon is a safe option today, but I don't know what Damwon wants to do. I feel like they're really good at dominating the early game, and they've shown that against a couple teams, especially they upset somebody recently. They upset SKT, they 2-0'd SKT, T1, which is a massive 2-0. And they did it very calmly. They just outplayed them. They ran 30 and 40-minute games, average time about 33 minutes. And they didn't really beat them with kills or high power. So my guess is that Sandbox rolls out some people. That one probably beats them. It's really more of a GPP play.
And as far as maybe like an underdog that you think has a decent chance, by the way, shout out to Moose. I know you hit all your bets the last time we were on the show, but one specifically you gave me, I threw a couple $100 on, smashed it. 2-0 win. I think it was RNG or somebody.
KT Roaster to 2-0 Sandbox.
KT, that's right, KT 2-0. So thank you, sir. Who are we looking at who could possibly upset, maybe not even necessarily take down a win, but, win a game and upset one of these big favorites here?
Sure. So the game between Edward Gaming and Oh My God, OMG, OMG are plus 200, and it's basically plus 200. They are playing only their third game back with their jungler, the original jungler from 2019. So he's kind of catching up. He was from Hubei, so because of the COVID-19 issues, he wasn't able to rejoin the team. And they have a new top laner that is basically subbable at any moment. OMG could actually show up during this game. And then you have, other than that, I mean, there's going to be a massive game between Invictus Gaming and WE. That's going to be like the real GPP hitter. Those teams really like to play rough. And that's going to be a nice GPP play if you can, fit one or two teams and one of them wins. But, Invictus Gaming are 10-1 for a reason. They just grind games out. They've only lost to one team, and so I think they grind this game out. So I don't really know if WE will have a chance to upset. I would say that the biggest chance for upsetting would probably be either OMG or KT against Genji, because KT want to play a game that is very macro oriented, and it might cause Genji to have some issues if they don't push the aggression early. But yeah, it's kind of rough for me to see where the favorites are going to come out from today and how and what dogs are really going to shine. Obviously, with LPL, it's kind of impossible to really tell you who's going to get upset because so many teams at plus 600 and plus 500. But like I said, a lot of the times when you see a minus 1,000 or a minus 500 favorite, they're actually not as favored. So if you want to take a shot on WE, OMG, or KT, I think those are probably my favorite dogs tonight.
Nice. And one thing we you and I haven't talked about much, but we did a little bit earlier with Sandbox. You're saying they're losing too quickly. How about as far as just how these teams play and like pace of the game? EDG and OMG, is that going to be, kind of a thrilling, high kills, craziness game versus maybe, Sandbox a little bit slower pace?
I think EDG and OMG is going to be a much slower paced game than people think, which is why I think the Korea games probably have a chance to shine. The IGWE games is going to be wild. I mean, I wish I could stay up for that game. It's going to be at 4 a.m. though my time, like 7 Eastern. So if all you early birds are waking up, that game is going to be lit. Like that game is adding up to, I don't know what the over under is on kills per round, but I can tell you right now that, yeah, it's over 30 and a half kills. So that is a very high total. You're going to see a lot of 16-10s, 20-25-10s, 25-15s. Like, I really do think it's going to go back and forth, depending on what happens with each team. But, again, I think that WE is a good team, but there is a reason why they're not the best team or anywhere close. There's a reason why their standings are so behind. It's because they're, at the end of the day, still a mid-ranked team playing against Invictus, which is, one of the best teams and currently the team that has the best record in the LPL. So I think that if IG have to win it with kills, they will, but it's not really E-Star in terms of pace. I think that it's really more so they're going to come out, they're going to get their kills, WE will get their kills, somebody will take the early game, and you're going to see a lot of bashing back and forth. But at the end of the day, I think that that's probably going to be the highest pace game, and I think that the Sandbox Damwon game is going to be a slow pace. The Genji KT game is going to be kind of a slow pace. T1 are actually a very interesting pick today because a lot of people are not going to be looking at them, but they're minus 500 favorites against Afrika, and Afrika keeps changing that lineup. So really anything can happen in that regard. I would say that, T1 probably 2-0 them, and they come back and they look good. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what T1 brings to the table in terms of bouncing back from, their really, really crappy week last week where they lost to KT and the Damwon. But I think that they're the way T1 works is that they really don't have any room to underperform because they are the star of Korea. They are really the team that people look at Korea and they say, hey, what team can you think of? What player can you think of? You think of Faker. So there's a lot of pressure on this team to perform well. So I think they come out, they 2-0 them, minus 135, by the way. They're going to 2-0 Afrika. And if Afrika are going to do what they tried to do in the previous game against Genji, you might see a little bit more firepower in that game. But I also think that, the rookie Kana is like 6,200 on DraftKings tonight. That's probably my favorite play of the night. I really do think that that's a really good top play, because that rookie just comes out and he will consistently give you 80. But that is a guy that you need to pair with probably an LPL team to really give you the firepower behind a safe lineup like that. So if you look at the two favorites tonight from the LPL and the Korea slate, that'll give you pretty much the low-down breakdown of what is going to happen in terms of where our cash lineup will aim. And then I think the best place to aim our GPP lineups are going to be taking like Gen and Damwon and pairing them with a team like Invictus or something like that. And that's kind of where I would really focus. But I do like sometimes mixing it, and sometimes that helps you mitigate risk, especially in like a 3-entry max slate or something like that. But if you're playing, if you're one of those people that's playing every possible combo, pretty much you can have a lot of interesting moves. But, I think that Damwon are a good team when they want to play, but sometimes they come out and they just really suck. Like, I don't know. It's like every time I get hyped about them, I'm like, yes,
They let
like,
you down.
they're looking really good because they finally woke up. Because, okay, so a lot of people had Damwon as like the best team coming into this year, especially if you look at the League Unlock guy, the really popular YouTuber. He had his top 10 teams of the split, and his top 10 teams were like, Dragon X, Genji, T1, and then he put Damwon first. And he was like, this squad looks good, they're hungry, they're young, and they've been getting destroyed. So I really wouldn't feel comfortable playing them in anything but a GPP slate. But, I think that you really have to look away from like a Gen GT1 game or a KT game if you really want the big scoring. I really do think that you're probably going to need to hope for the WEIG game to go off, or you're really going to hope that RNG comes in and provides you 25 kills a game, and that'll be fantastic for everybody. So
But let me ask you this, Moose. So let's say, 'cause I don't know how many of our folks who are tuning in for this, and thanks so much for watching, everyone, but are putting in 150 lineups like you're trying to do tonight. Let's say it's just a 3-entry max tournament, like you mentioned. We think that IGWE game could be fireworks. If you're just making 3 lineups, should you have a WE stack in one of those 3 lineups, or is that too risky?
No, I think you should, especially because even if they lose, I mean, you're talking about potentially having a game where, like, for example, IG will have a 25 kill game, and then W will have a 15 kill game or a 16 kill game or something. And then on the other way around, they'll have, IG come in and they'll have a 17 or 18 kill game, and then W wins with, like, maybe more kills, less kills. And then you get down to the third game, and oftentimes the third game will have a lot of kills, but the team that scored, the dog, will score the same amount of kills. So my point is that a team doesn't need to have more kills to win a game, And a lot of the times you'll see WE or another team lose while having more kills. They'll lose with 25 kills and the other team has 19 kills, but they'll just play a worse game. They'll get the kills, their heroes will be fed, but the champions are not in the right place. Somebody goes to the back line, takes a base, destroys it. I think more so if you have a 3-entry max play, you're playing T1, you're playing RNG, you're playing Invictus, you're playing WE, and you're hoping that EDG does something.
And look, we'll obviously have more detail and more official plays from Moose in the article tonight out on EliteFantasy.com and EliteSportsBetting.com. But let's leave them with this. You made me so much money last time, Moose. I'm looking at maybe, let's say, Dan1 -1.5. It's even money right now. Sandbox is trash. They are the Cincinnati Bengals of League of Legends. Can we throw our money on Dan1 -1.5 at even money here?
No.
Oh, man.
I would really want to see that line at like it's going up since you've been talking. It's plus 105.
Plus 105. There you go. A market mover. And the other way.
There you go. See, the line's moving away from you. I would like to see that line go to plus 120 or plus 125. I think you're better off putting your money on T120 at -1.5. I think is probably my favorite play on the LCK side. And then on the LPL side, I really do like the odds that you're getting on an Invictus 2-0, but I don't know if that's going to happen as much as I really like the OMG plus 1.5. It is a little bit pricey at -160, but if that line moves to 150, just slam it. I mean, there's really no projections there. Just wanted to kind of also help out the viewers because I really do appreciate people looking. Just kind of going over. I think I said I like Kana in the top lane. XLB at 6,600 for RNG is way undervalued. The guy can easily put up 80, 90 points. In the mid lane, Faker at 7,000 is way too cheap. The guy, it can easily come out and give you 70, 80 points. He's not a top 100 player. You really need like a Xiaohu or a Rookie for that, but he's $1,200 cheaper than Rookie. So, and T1 are more favored to win than Invictus by a significant amount. And talking about 80 carry, Ruler at 7,200 is a huge steal, especially if you put him in the captain slot. He will continuously give you 130 to 140 points, 90 points last game, 107 before, 95 before that. Really, really big X factor. I also like Teddy at 7,800. Probably one of my favorite plays in the slate. And then for support, I really do like to save because I have no clue who's going to play. So you want to go with either life or effort at T1. Effort is 5,400, and he'll get you 60 on a good day. He'll get you 70. He really benefits off of the 2-0. So I think that he can easily get you, upper 60, 70. Life is one of those players that likes to play carry champions, especially as a support lane. So he can get you upper 70s, 80s, and that's really good for support. So the general strategy behind what I like to do is save money on the positions that you can save money on. At the same time, I've noticed that spending on top lane does help. And if you're doing GPP stacks, correlate the top lane with the team. If you correlate the top lane with the team, if let's say you're doing for example, you're doing an Invictus Gaming stack with like, I don't know, Damwon or somebody else or somebody lower, right? Let's say you go with Gen G Invictus Gaming stack, right, or something like that. If you put Rascal at 6,000 and you pair him with Gen G, the team at 5,000, you're getting a lot of value for only $11,000, and you're going to leave room to put the heavy price IG rookies in there. And primarily, what you're going to see is that the logic is this: if a team does well, the top laner has to do well, because the top laner's entire job is split pushing and getting into team fights. So the more turrets the guy takes on the top lane, and then when he goes down to the bottom lane, if the top laner does well, turrets are going to drop. If turrets are going to drop, the team score is going to go up. Also, if you have a good fighter on the river, and your team gets the dragon, you get the dragon points, the baron points. The top laner has to be doing well in those team fights. So those two positions I've noticed have been heavily correlating. Jungle is a great correlation with your overall lineup, but the top lane is somewhere I would really focus if you're looking for stacking a top team type of deal. The top laners rarely play carries anymore; they play Ornn. But if you look at statistical websites, if you really want a top laner that's going to make a difference in your lineup, the kind of top laner that you say, okay, this is the type of GPP top laner that a lot of people aren't going to play, you're really going to want to pay up for it. And if you're going to pay up for it, you have, the Shy at 6,600 only likes to play carry top laner, so you could get like him and hope he picks a carry top laner, or Nuggery at 6,800.
There you go. I like that, Moose. I'm sitting over here building lineups as you're talking through it. That's why I love doing these together. I might come out of retirement tonight for a little esports with my boy Moose.
Yeah, come out, man. We'll be waiting for you. Spend down a team in support. Spend up in your carry positions. Put LPL players into your captain roles. If you're going to be, if you're looking at a lineup where you can get a cash lineup in with RNG players and a different team that you like tonight for a cash, the RNG players need to go in the captain slot. They have much higher potential to score. And then from there, kind of mix and match and kind of pick the players you like and make yourself a lineup. Don't be afraid to put, if you're doing GVPs, don't be afraid to put the jungler in. Some junglers in the LPL outscore the carries because the game is just violent on their end. If you're doing it on the Korean side, I recommend going with a mid laner, because a lot of Koreans like Damwon, not Jen, but Damwon, sometimes Teddy, sometimes different teams like to play a champion called Senna. And Senna doesn't collect CS, and oftentimes she will only go mainly for assists as a support carry type of role. So mid laners and AD carries are kind of my preference in the Korea. In LPL, mid laner, AD carry, and jungle are my preference.
There you go. For your boy Moose, I am Duke. He's got a new handle. Let's read it off, at Moose_esports. Check him out over there on Twitter. Of course, I'm at Duke DFS. We'll be back Friday for another slate tonight. Make sure you get over to elitefantasy.com or elitesportsbetting.com and grab a subscription over there. I'm pretty sure everything's discounted right now, and nothing but goods from my boy Moose. Anything else before we head out?
Get haircuts.
Everybody, for the love of God. I've been wearing a hat every single day.
I hope Benny gets better too. So yep. Benny, please get better. Don't be sick anymore. He said he was really glad that we thought of him last time. So Benny, you're still in our thoughts. Maybe one day the three of us can get together and you guys can just bombard me with questions. So
that'd be fun. It's a date. Let's do it.
All right, man.
We'll see you guys next time.